Hi, ho everyone. My name's Mr. Fruit, and welcome to the GG Over Easy podcast, episode 38.
Oh,
In today's episode, you know it, you'll love it. Destiny 2 drama. Destiny's back at it again, dude.
this is me dropping the tea
We're
bag
sipping
into
some
somebody's
tea.
mouth.
We're sipping some tea. Hey, whoa, drama. On top of that, a 4-year-old game somehow gets a new review and is rated perfect. Sure. Yeah. Nani?
Look at my eyes.
It's a little hard to tell. But we can kind of like, and then it goes on to bring us more to the fact of video game reviews in general. Do they mean anything? Should they mean anything? Do we believe them? Do we not? What do we look for? Beyond that, we got some more entertainment talk, movies, shows, some more games, Patreon questions, life. What does it mean? Did you guys, real quick, see the story about the parallel universe up in the...
Dude, that was one of the questions on the Patreon things, and I thought that was a joke, so I skipped over it. That's real?
Dude. Yeah. They're like... So they discovered it in like 2016 or something. So apparently up, I believe it's like north of the Arctic or something. They were scanning, and they were able to identify and observe. I forget the word of exactly the particle it is, whatever. But normally you would see this, whatever it is, particle going into the Earth, but they're actually observing it going, like, leaving, which is absolutely contrary to everything we know, which is essentially like if things were going in reverse. And so for the last like 3-4 years, they've been essentially hypothesizing and testing everything they know to try and figure out what it is. And so far, they still haven't been able to figure out what it is or debunk the theory that is an alternate universe, but it runs in reverse time. So it's us, but everything's playing backwards. It's pretty sick, dude. It's kind of like sci-fi or whatever. But
That sounds tight, dude.
But like I'll believe it, even if it's not true.
I don't know what any of that means and how that proves anything.
But that's the thing, like why it was more recent. It's because they came out with another like finding, like, hey, we've been trying everything. Like everyone's like, they don't believe us. It could be this, and we've tried everything, and we still don't have an answer. So currently, it's not the answer, but it's the running theory, and that would be pretty sick. So
would be interesting.
Well, what a way to start the podcast. Hey, anyway, hope you guys enjoy the episode. Let's get into it. Welcome back to this episode of GG Over Easy, episode 38. That's 2 away from 40. Quick maths.
We're getting old.
Already old. I've accepted
Why is my cam like not focusing? But whatever.
It's probably not focusing because it can't contact your eyes because you're wearing what, Rob?
I'm wearing my snowboarding goggles because I have pink eye. And it's kind of embarrassing.
Someone farted on his pillow, gross.
No, nobody farted on said pillow or no
Yeah,
ass.
you say that, but like, what if she did as a joke?
Yeah.
I don't think Sydney would do that. Or Max. I don't think Max or Sydney would do that to me, as I would be quite upset. Because this is the first time I've ever had pink eye, and it's awful. It is terrible. I woke up. No, I woke up this morning, dude, and like, so like 2 days ago, like the top of my eye just like started itching, so I just kept going like this all day, like just kept going, and I didn't think of anything of it. And then yesterday, I had like a bump there, like a bump on my eyelid, and then I was streaming, and then everyone was like, "It's a cyst, Rob. It's or something, a sty or something like that."
It's a parasite.
So I went. Yeah, so I went to go get like some droplets from the Walgreens, and all of a sudden I got really scared and was like, "Am I gonna lose my eyeball?" Like, because I started losing vision. I'm like, "Am I gonna lose my eye?" Like, that's all I want to know, Doc. And she's like, "I'm a cashier. All right, I don't know."
It's like, listen, I just working for minimum wage. Like, what do you want from me right now?
And so like I woke up this morning at like 5 a.m. because that's when Max wants his food. And I kid you not, dude, like I woke up and it still felt like I was asleep because my left eye would just not open. And I go to like the mirror, and that's when I took a picture of it. I literally had like a clean gloss of like orange goo, like pus that had just like glued over, dude. And I literally had to like
Okay, we don't need the
Pride.
details. We can stop there. We get it. You got pink eye. All right, great.
Tell me more, tell me more,
Thanks.
tell me more.
No,
I was like,
I'm good. You made me.
oh, it's not that bad. That's what's making you
Gross.
sick.
I just don't want to hear about it.
Is that how you wanted to start your morning, seeing that picture?
No.
Have you ever
I was
had
like,
pink
thanks
eye?
for that. I don't think I have. I feel
No.
like it's something with my eye, aside from being blind. But I don't know. But speaking
Not
of
you,
which,
Blue?
I have. Well, I don't really know why, but I haven't gotten an eye
What?
exam in a couple years. Which
Well,
for
your
the
eyes suck. What's
well,
their
yeah, for the
exam?
regular person, it's like, okay, yeah, that's me. But if you have people, obviously, who know that have vision problems, you go at least once a year. But we kept moving, and I'm terrible at that kind of stuff. But now I've been getting all these migraines, and I'm worried that it might have to
it's
do
your
with
glasses.
it might have to do with my prescription. Because usually every year I'm changing my prescription. It might be a little gradual, but I'm thinking add that gradual change over a couple of years, and then I've been using these same ones, so gonna be getting that checked out. But I called too, by the way. Called like a week ago, and I was like, hey, eye exam, whatever, I've been here before. And they're like, yeah, as soon as we get you in, it's like June 20th. I'm like, what? Is
June 20th?
Is quarantine
To
making everyone
look
blind?
at pictures and go like, that's blurry.
Yeah,
That
I
one's
was like, is everyone going blind? Like, what do you mean you don't have an opening till it's? I don't know.
You don't wear glasses, Blue, do you?
There's contacts,
Sometimes.
Oh, just sometimes. Wait,
Depending
when
on
you
the
talk, your Discord thing moves. That's interesting. That's really cool.
Yeah, you like
I
that?
it. Yeah, that's
I'm
very
fucking
cool.
pissed, Rob.
You like that? Yeah, you did it, girl. I will say that I think I'm gonna try and get some new frames though, like a new me, rediscover.
What do you mean?
Reinvent
frames?
myself, like my glasses.
What? They're just normal frames. Like what else?
Well, no,
what,
I mean, I've had
Ray
these
Bans or something. Like
actually,
Mr.
I was
Hip
looking
guy?
at them. Yeah.
Oh,
Now that you specifically
you
said,
would
I
look
was
pretty
actually
hip.
looking at Ray-Bans. But something, because these are the same glasses I've worn for the past 5 years. I think I got them because
Wait, you haven't changed your glasses in 5 years?
no, because it was, I remember intramural dodgeball sophomore year of college. Dude pegs me in the face, breaks my glasses in two. And I was like the it literally split on the bridge of my nose. So I was like the quintessential dude. That was my only pair. So I literally ran around with it taped in the middle. I literally looked like
no
that
way.
guy. Yeah. So that's when I got these glasses, and I've had them ever since.
So you haven't had a test in 5 years?
Yeah, 5, I guess. I think I went in 4, and they were like, well, you could change your prescription, but it's pretty minimal. We'll just check on in 6 months and maybe change them then. Here we are 4.5 years later or whatever. So my bad, but I'm hoping that's part of the problem. But then
you
I
had
also
another
figured out,
migraine episode?
yeah, I've had a couple. And the thing too is what sucks is it's not a one-time thing. When they come, it's 3-4 days of just waves. I just want to die.
Really?
Yeah. So I want to hopefully figure out whatever the fudge it is.
When you get a migraine, does your vision go, or what do you because when I get a migraine, my vision gets super blurry, and I need to sit in the dark.
Yeah, well, I'm definitely photosensitive. For me though, I can feel it specifically in one spot of my forehead when it starts. I get really sharp pain there, pulsating. I get really dizzy, nauseous, light sensitive. I can't look at screens. I can't do anything. But that's the worst part too. Is if I'm not able to sleep, I just lay there. That's my life.
And then you envision your house, and then you slowly drift.
I know. Come fly with me. Let's fly. Anyway, let's get into today's episode.
Speaking of fly, let's talk about the lie that
Oh no!
is-
Please don't make me.
That was
Yes.
a bit of a
No,
stretch, but I
please,
like
no,
it. It rhymed.
Please
Yes.
don't make me talk about this, bro.
Blue, I want it.
Hey.
I literally wake up and I see Blue's tweet about something about the quest, and then Christian says this is gonna be good, and then with a
Oh, yeah.
popcorn emoji, and I'm just sitting there hey guys, what's going on?
Hey guys.
And little did I know
Is Destiny hot right now?
Bungie's back at it again.
The answer is no. Destiny's not hot right now.
No. And that's the thing, Rob. Destiny's not back at it. They have been at this for a while now.
It's been an
But
interesting few months of terrible bugs.
we
Just
got
like
some drama. Hold on.
Oh, we do.
Yeah. Well, I have to interrupt you because we need to call our Destiny drama guy.
Oh,
And then we need like a ba-ba-bum, ba-ba-bum, or something like that.
whoa! Here comes the Destiny drama expert.
Strange Penguin. Thank you for joining us. Our
I
Destiny
need my
2,
drama. I need my drama lenses for these.
our Destiny 2 drama guy. You're our guy.
What's the drama though? I didn't know there was any drama this week.
Oh, that's a lie. Hey.
Oh, get it? Because the
Hey.
lie.
Way to set me up for that one. I didn't even see it until I like walked into it.
Yeah. Anyways.
Until I walked into it.
Well, in this week's session of shit that Bungie does, which is kind of pog, but also sometimes not pog, but sometimes it's pretty pog. But this week was not pog.
Recently, it's not been pog.
In Bungie decided, hey, let's have remember last week, Rob, where we were like, hey, let's farm a PvP gun and a PvP activity.
and you guys had to like turn in stuff.
Yeah.
I saw a really funny meme, and it was like Toy Story when the kid has like a short little thing, but then he turns and it's like really long, like a little short gift, and it was really funny, and it was alluding to that little quest bar. That's how long it was. It's funny.
Thank you for that.
Thank you, future Rob.
Yeah, it kind of does look like you're from the future.
You look tight.
I look like like I have the marathon Halo 3 helmet.
Is this how you stream today?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. I'm just really self-conscious about it.
Dude, you look sick in it though. I'm not gonna lie. It looks kind of.
That's the new wave, dude.
Yeah, that's the wave.
Dr. Disrespect who?
Well, oh, real quick, it was really funny because like I was wearing these and I was like, oh wait, I could just wear my Oculus Rift headset, and then I put it on, and then I was like,
you can't see.
Wait, I can't see the game. Like, as soon as I put them on, I was like, oh wait a second. That was bad.
Anyways, so the lie quest completed. And people were like, wow.
So we get Fellwinter's Lie now. Yes.
No.
Yes.
Guess what? The gun quest itself was made available. That step, the community step, was completed on Sunday night, right?
I think so.
Something like that.
Or like Monday morning, yeah.
People couldn't get the gun until today.
So
which is
Sunday the 6th.
for people.
So Sunday the 17th.
Yeah,
Yes.
Today we're recording this the 21st.
Is when the community event finished, and people started going on their merry way to get the Fellwinter's Lie, and they probably thought, wow, I can't wait to get this cool piece of nostalgia weapon from Destiny 1 to finally put it into my god tier Guardian arsenal. Wow, the Vanguard's going to be so proud of me. Guess what? The quest was bugged.
Yeah. Literally, you couldn't progress.
Quest was bugged.
When you started the quest, it would take you to Eris instead of starting the quest in the bunker. So you couldn't do the quest, and it was pretty funny because people started thinking it was a secret. Like, oh, to get this fellow shotgun, we have to do like there has to be something in the bunker.
Like, oh that
we haven't figured out. Dado started streaming. He was like, oh, a secret. Yes, finally. I can't wait.
Oh no!
And then so then they're trying to figure it out, and they're like, whoa, what's happening? Is it do we have to turn something on in the bunker? Is there a screen? I wonder. Oh, maybe it's the pyramids. And then Bungie tweets, hey guys, so we kind of fucked up and the quest is bugged. We're gonna do a hot fix one of these days.
One of these days.
Well, I mean, to be fair, they're like, we need to figure out what the problem is, and then once we figure out the problem, we need to do certification so that we don't release it, and then it just causes more bugs.
So that
part I understand.
26-minute stream where he then realizes, oh, the quest is just bugged. So for about 30 minutes, everyone actually thought, wow, there must be a secret to getting this gun. But
I wish I was watching that. That would have been hilarious.
But it quickly devolved into,
right.
I guess I'll wake up tomorrow. And then tomorrow, it didn't happen. And then people said, I guess I'll wake up tomorrow. And then it didn't happen. And then they said, I guess I'll wake up tomorrow. And guess what? Tomorrow is today because we're recording this on Thursday.
It did happen.
And people got the shotgun that is marginally better than all the other PvP shotguns.
Is that what like the door was? I kept seeing it. That's when like I've noticed Twitter accounts that I follow, literally like all they post are Destiny 2 memes, and I just can't do it anymore. All I saw that day was just my timeline full of like the door, like these memes, and I'm like, I'm over it,
dude.
Just give him the gun so I don't have to see this shit.
Easy solution, dude. Unmute Dork. That'll fix your timeline.
I don't think that will. I think they'll do the
That's-
opposite.
Well, it
That's
won't
a
be so many
wild
Destiny
timeline.
memes. I mean, if that's your problem.
I think I'd rather have Destiny 2.
Yeah,
You
that's
know,
a
okay,
risky,
roll your
that's a
dice there.
risky click, buddy.
yo, it looks weird. This looks like my forehead right here, and it looks like these are like small sunglasses I'm wearing right here, like just from this little angle. That's weird.
Anyways,
Thanks again, Rob.
that's this week in Bungie. How did you guys do this week on this
Okay.
fine news of?
So people have the gun now.
Yeah,
Is it
Yeah.
tight? Oh,
I mean-
by the way, go figure. Best Destiny gets another gun that we've already had. Good job, guys. Was it sick? Was it worth it?
from what I have, what's the word? From what I have deduced from all of the testing people have done, the gun is in fact a little better than all the other shotguns we already have.
Yeah, apparently
Okay,
it's
well, at
just
least
like, hey, did you grind
thing.
a God Roll Mindbenders Ambition? Well, here's a Fellwinter's Lie, which is
Here's a
great because I
Felwinter's that's
haven't.
gonna not be usable in a year, Pog.
Yeah,
That is true.
we got this Pog as Blue was mentioning, like, yo, I got the sick arsenal for the Vanguard. They're gonna love this. Can't wait for them
Yeah.
to retire half of this
Can't-
though to bring it
Can't
back
wait for
later.
it to- They in the TWAB today. They showed some of the guns that would be in season 11, and lo and behold, like it's like this laundry list of guns we already have. It's like, wow, thanks for
You could literally. I think there are more guns that we've had than are new at
Yeah.
this point.
Well, it was kind of weird because they talked about how they were putting like a universal Ingram where they have just Vanguard, Gambit, and Crucible stuff, and I'm just kind of like, what? Why? So it has all these old guns from the previous seasons that are usable in season 11. It's like, okay, cool, but like, why?
I want
Is
to
this
face
Ingram-
but I can't.
Why is this Ingram not world drops, and why is it like just a random like, hey, pick out from one of the? It's one of those cheap like carnival like claw box, like the one where you claw to get the toy out, except like it's all old toys. It's like a really
No
cheap
one really
carnival.
wants the
That's what it
toy.
feels like. Yeah, nobody really wants the toys, but they're there.
Well, I have a token, so might as well use
I'm interested
it.
before we move on. Fruit, how do you feel about the whole sunsetting thing? So,
Dude, that is the well,
So
because
precursor for
sunsetting.
people who don't know, sunsetting basically means that the weapons we have a time limit from when they're introduced. So like say like your guns from the start of Shadowkeep, they're not going to be brought into the next expansion because they're going to have their light level cap. So Fruit, how do you feel about this?
boy,
I don't even know what that means.
well,
It's
it's like retiring.
Explain to me
something.
like I'm 5.
Okay,
so
You-
remember in D1 where you got a gun from Vogue, and then in Crota's End, the next DLC, those guns were dog shit because you couldn't bring them up to the next light level.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like that,
Yeah.
but instead of like the next expansion making them obsolete, they just have like a year timer on them now, essentially, before they stop going
Being
past a
good?
certain light level.
yeah. So
What?
eventually,
Why?
whatever weapons they decide, new season starts, or a year from whenever it releases. Suddenly, you can no longer infuse it; it's going to stay behind. So
That's
you could
stupid.
you could still use it. Technically, like, really, the only place you could use it is in regular PvP. That's not light level enabled.
Yeah.
But here's the way I see sunsetting. I could see it to some degree. One, though, I think a big part of sunsetting is actually a band-aid fix to a bigger issue, which is you don't know how to
Yes.
balance your game. So instead, you're like,
Absolutely.
we have these broken guns. We don't know what to do. Just take them away. There,
And
problem
then it's
solved.
like, well, we can't like there's too many damage and reload perks. They're so strong, and it's like, well, maybe if our primaries didn't hit like pellet guns, then we wouldn't want to have damage boosting. Remember when like a hand cannon would one tap like an acolyte? Those
It was
days
a
are
nice day.
about 4 years back in the day cafe. Haven't had those in a
What
while.
does a hand cannon kill an acolyte in now?
Most hand
3?
cannons like 2-tap, an acolyte of all things.
But yeah, so that's what I mean, like that, and then perk diversity. Like one, like why does
that's my
everybody
biggest
use
issue.
these? Was because all the other ones either suck, or like the one where it's like crouching, gives you boosted accuracy after a short amount of
While
time,
sliding.
or like field whatever that like that, or there's some of them where it's like, when am I ever going to use this? Or it's just, hey, this does more damage, or like, hey, do more damage and reload faster. It was like, make more interesting perks to contest with those.
Yeah.
But anyway, the whole sunsetting thing, I think
Yeah.
that's a big issue. Is like, one, if you get down to it, it seems like that's part of the issue. They're like, hey, we don't know what to do. But then it became even more evident, which is when I like lulled to, or I had like a popcorn tweet, the Blues tweet, because I hadn't read the TWAB yet. I think when I saw a Blues tweet, I was like, "You gotta be kidding me!" Yeah. And turns out that they essentially said, "Hey, we're sunsetting some guns, so we can take them away from you, but then in like a year, reintroduce them, and you can grind for them again."
It's just,
and
I'm not against it if they can like, introduce cool guns to go along with it, but the way it's worded, it just kind of seems like we're just going to be going through the cycle of weapons we've already had.
Yeah, like at this point, they're like, "Yeah, we instead of coming up with new stuff, we're just going to take away your current stuff and then bring it back later." It's even worse than what they're doing with D1 guns. It's like, imagine, it's like we didn't have the D1 gun. They brought the D1 gun back, but then they're like, "Hey, we're sunsetting this D1 gun again."
Wait, they're
and then we're going to reintroduce it.
D1 guns?
Oh, well, we don't know specifically, but like what I'm saying is like, instead of making new interesting gear, they're just taking away some of your current ones to then reintroduce them later.
I'm still giving the benefit of the doubt because hopefully they do introduce weapons in a time, like in a quantity enough and a timely enough manner that people are like, "Oh, there's enough guns for me to use." But we don't even get that now. So I'm
I was gonna say, if we're not getting that now, what makes you think that you're gonna get that later?
So I'm a little apprehensive, obviously. But the other problem is like, why is armor getting sunsetted?
Oh yeah, that's the stupidest thing.
Wait, I thought armor's getting transmogged. Like you can transmog armor.
Yeah, it's getting transmogged, but you still have to. Why would they sunset it then? Bro, you and I, dude, I don't know. I don't understand why armor is getting sunsetted when armor is already basically fashion game. Like every piece of armor turns into the same thing ultimately. Like I'm gonna reroll it to void and make like have all the sniper and hand cannon perks on my gun, right? So it just kind of seems like an artificial way of like making you spend your ascendant and enhancement prisms, which is like, okay, nobody already even has those right now anyways if you don't play the game.
Yeah.
So it's like, all right, weird. I don't know why you want to do that. Like it's not like people like get armor because they want the perks on the armor, because those don't exist anymore. They want the armor because it looks good. So, I mean, transmog makes this hurt a little less. I don't know how their transmog system is going to roll out because I don't even know if it's going to come out when the expansion pops out.
Transmog is you can use any gear, right? From year 1, year 2 to make it look like, but then like use the stats from another thing, right? Okay.
Well, no, you can't use stats. It's pure appearance.
No, what I'm saying is like the pure appearance.
It's the way ornaments work right now, pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah. So they're blending a way where you could turn any piece of armor into an ornament, which is tight. Long time coming. This makes armor sunsetting not hurt.
Should have been a thing when D2 came out.
A step forward and 3, 4, 5 steps back.
Yeah. My main problem with sunsetting is one that I've talked about a lot, and it's probably the core issue most people have. When people like refer to like, well, this is how it works in MMOs, don't you know that? It's like, okay, false equivalence. One, because most gear in MMOs are just stat sticks. Like oh, plus this intelligence, plus skill speed. They don't actually change the core fundamentals of what your character does, which is based on like, I level up, I get new skills. These skills are with me forever, right? Unless they're balanced or they're changed in future updates or they're upgraded, blah, 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 blah. The problem with in Destiny, our gear is our character. Like we don't have identity. Like our weapons increase our damage we deal. Our weapons make shit explode. Exotics themselves do all kinds of different things. It's a good thing exotics aren't being sunsetted, but our legendary gear defines our character. So imagine you are rolling in an MMO and then the next expansion you have to like start leveling up abilities you had the previous expansion. That would be ridiculous. Like it would be dumb. Like everyone would be like, why am I regrinding the skill tree I already grinded from the last expansion? That's the closest to true comparison of what is happening, because
most MMOs have more content.
And most MMOs treat little stat sticks better than Destiny treats their guns. Because I can transmog my stat stick. Like in Final Fantasy, I have this sick fucking level 66 like Dome and Steel Gunblade. Of course, I can't like bring its stats to level 80, but I can transmog it onto my current Gunblade And lo and behold, I have this sick fucking dome and steel gunblade on my back. I could take that shit with me forever if I wanted to. And that's tight because I'm connected to that gun. So it's just kind of weird to me that Bungie is like, and a lot of the community is like, man, like as a game dev, like I hate seeing people love their loot. Like that's just bad player engagement, So I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'm very skeptical. Hope it's tight though, poggers.
I don't give him any benefit of the doubt anymore. Yes, Rob.
Oh, thank gosh. I was wondering, Mr. Westlo, is there anything I was about to ask? You've been getting back into Final Fantasy lately. Final Fantasy 14.
Final Fantasy is tight.
Is there anything you would like to see from Final Fantasy 14?
Everything
be moved into Destiny 2?
Pretty much everything.
Like what? Specifically what? Like what is your biggest thing you wish Bungie would take from Final Fantasy and put it into Destiny?
So one of the biggest things for me in Final Fantasy is there's all this old content I could do. And the game respects my time because all that old stuff is relevant to my end game because all that stuff can be transmogged. So if I see something cool like at a really old dungeon, I'm like, oh, sick! Like that would be like cool fashion. Like I could put that on my glam plates, which are like
just pure cosmetic look. Like you still want to go do that dungeon because you can make your current gear look like that because it looks cool.
Yeah, exactly. And then there's this entire mount grind, which hopefully Destiny is moving in the direction of, where all these old dungeons, you could do like extreme versions of trials and they'll give you mounts. You can grind out like these factions, which give you like unique armor, unique gear, unique mounts, unique fucking everything. Honestly, there's so many different vendors that give you so many different things. And when I'm playing old content,
like a Dead Orbit Sparrow, if you got to like level faction 100 or something like that, even if there was Dead Orbit still.
The biggest thing for me in Final Fantasy is everything's an investment. So no matter what you're doing, you're always working toward something that is like a progression system. So you sign up for your alliance, your like the Storm fucking faction, and I could get like currency from that for that faction just by doing like my daily roulette stuff, which is like like normal dailies. When I do normal dailies, I get like bonus XP for my classes. So if I have multiple classes I want to level up, I just do my dailies and I have a reason to log in every day to level up, like get extra XP for leveling my other classes. Or there's like if you want to get to like the max level that's like not raid tier, then you can grind those dailies as well to get like cool little what's the word?
But so basically there's always something for you to do that has a purpose behind it.
There's so much to the economy that when you do one thing, you're doing multiple things for other things. And then there's also really specific things, like there's like relic weapons you could do to get like really unique weapons that you don't get anywhere else. You can like right now there's an event with Moogle tomestones where they bring back mounts that maybe you couldn't get before, and you grind out like certain dungeons that they have listed, like, oh, this dungeon gives you cool Moogle tomestones. You could use those tomestones to buy these cool mounts maybe you didn't get. Fuck it, like it's so exhaustive. Like there's just so much to the game, and this is how it is in every other MMO, is they still respect what the previous expansions did. They don't make them totally irrelevant, and it kind of feels like Bungie has never figured out how to do that. So when someone new comes in, 99% of the time, until they get to like whatever level we are right now,
you play like the brand new expansion.
You're playing, and it's like, yeah, none of that matters. None of that matters. None of that matters. None of that matters. Yeah, you don't need to care about that. Oh, you finally got to Last Wish. Okay, now you could start doing stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't know. There's just so much. I mean, there's a reason MMOs are called MMOs, right? They're massively multiplayer online. There's ridiculous amount of content. But there's just no complexity to, like, Destiny is like, okay, there's Vanguard, Gambit. And then Cryptarch has like some cool engrams for you. Okay, what else is there? There's some planetary vendors. Oh, what do they give? Some armor. Oh, cool. Do they give any cool weapons or anything, or sparrows? No. Oh,
none of it's been updated since vanilla, by the way.
None of that's been updated, huh? Yeah, no, not really. So when do I get to start playing the game? Oh, when you get to around Forsaken. Except those guns are going to be retired, so. Yeah, hopefully you run Last Wish. Yeah, so it's
When's the
Well,
last time you
rough,
played
man.
Destiny?
I just played on Tuesday actually. I still
Okay.
play Destiny, right? It's just I just can't.
But you've been playing Final Fantasy more.
I'm listening to so much Final Fantasy, dude. I don't know why it didn't grab me
I'm
before,
happy
but
for
I
you. I'm really
love Final
happy for you.
Fantasy.
Just know that I'm happy for you. I'm really happy for you.
It's super fun, man.
Every time I saw my Steam notification say BlueWestlo playing Destiny 2, my heart would like sink for you.
Pepe
It'd be like,
hands. Why is he
yeah.
going back?
It'd be like,
He's going back
no,
to the
he
abusive
almost got
relationship,
out.
dude.
You're better than him, Blue. You're better.
Well,
He was
speaking
their
of
better king.
oof gaming moments,
Overwatch.
IGN's 4 year like Overwatch retrospective review or something.
I
So,
don't know, dude.
God only knows what. I guess there's nothing else to do. So they're like, hey, it's been 4 years since Overwatch came out. Let's re-review it. And then they re-review it and give it a perfect score. They give it a 10 out of a 10. What?
What are they?
Ooh.
Lamau.
Hold on, let me read this.
Saying it's a
wanna-
perfect game.
I'm most interested in how Rob feels about this, as Rob was
I-
the Overwatch guru.
He was a
don't
stan.
know.
Every ranked season, Rob would be in there in the trenches,
Back
getting
in
his
the-
first 10.
With
back
Farrah.
in the day, sure, but like, oh my, like when
Well,
we
that's just
played
it.
it
That was like
day,
2 years
Christian,
ago, 2.5 years ago.
Yeah, like
The
I
game is just
haven't played that in so long. Ugh.
And there's no
9.4,
way.
amazing.
There's no way they give it a perfect now, and they actually played it. It has to be like rose tinted glasses.
Back in the day, I would have been like, "Oh,
Because it
Overwatch
got
is
it got a
absolutely perfect title.
9.4 when it first came out. It got a 9.4 on its first review.
and now
And
it's
it's
a 10,
somehow
which is like,
perfect.
And it got a perfect 10. It's a masterpiece. It says Overwatch is a masterpiece, a dazzling amalgam of unique characters, stunning style, and compelling dynamic action. That's literally all it says, and then 10.
Never mind the
verdict.
fact that they keep adding new characters that completely break their game, and then they have to figure out how in the world to fix their game, and they can't
and then
figure
they
it
ruin
out.
Genji, and they never make Genji relevant again. And Blue never comes back because then they change Hanzo's kit completely, and now Blue doesn't want to play any of the weeb classes, and now I'm gone.
The
No
verdict.
weeb?
Overwatch is a one-of-a-kind hero shooter that is far and away the best of its genre.
Team Fortress 2 still exists.
I mean,
It
that is
offers-
true, though. I wish we had more hero shooters.
You think, but you think Overwatch is the best hero shooter out right now?
I
Absolutely.
mean, I
not.
have more fun with Paladins.
That's
and
true.
people say that's
Mr.
budget
At
Overwatch.
this point, you're coming up on probably doing more Paladin than Overwatch videos.
but that's true. I mean, recently,
offered-
like, I would, if I had to choose right now, make Overwatch content for the rest of my life or Paladins, I'd use Paladins. I would lose my mind.
It's the
doing
Paladin only
Overwatch.
channel.
I just,
Uh,
yeah. I mean, we kind of like briefly touched on it, and there was the whole drama when we did that one video, but like, to come back 4 years later and give it a better rating than it had at launch to say it's perfect when it's been on a downward trend, like,
is insane.
it just makes no sense.
It offers variety, depth, and a style that very few come to close to matching.
See, I would argue the variety part too. I feel like there's not much variety. I mean, custom
game has a-
games, yeah. Like,
The
there's a
game has
lot
a
of
sick
fun,
art
but
style too, as far as
it is.
And the lore is cool. I like the lore of Overwatch.
yeah,
The
like
lore
one
is
I do
paragraph
like
of it.
I do like the characters.
Yeah, there's like 2 paragraphs per character, right? Some of them have like
Cinematics are
the
tight.
cinematics.
Like nobody does it like Blizzard does, and the art style is super sick. But man, it's like Overwatch was like a game that I started playing, and I was like, dude, this game is gonna be sick. And then like they developed it like it was an early access title, where like everything changed constantly. And at that point, like you come back 2 years later, and it's like, wow, this is nothing like what I remembered.
Dude, I think this is the funniest line in this whole thing. Its 4-year-old foundation has been lovingly crafted into an unparalleled multiplayer experience that it offers today.
Bruh.
They really think that Overwatch has been ooh, like loved and been like taken
What?
care of, and like if anything, dude, has been beaten, tortured,
Yeah,
run
man.
through the ringer, kicked out, made come back. Like, oh, so bad.
I don't know.
From it's now cherished characters and expertly crafted maps to outstanding sound design and dynamic action. It's a masterpiece of competitive gameplay. Most importantly of all, though, it's never stopped being ridiculously fun after all these years. It has to be like a IGN Overwatch stand.
Yeah, they're like,
yeah,
He stands, dude. Yeah,
there's some
100%.
guy who's like puts in 200 hours every week still. They're like, hey, write a review. He's like, yes.
because
Yes.
Overwatch has, for some reason
Yes.
has stands, man. Like they love Overwatch to this day.
I mean, good for them. But like, I mean, I can't argue with a lot of that stuff. Like audio, of course, great. Graphics, great. Like maps, like so much of the stuff is great, and yet somehow you put it all together and you jump in a game and you go, I hate my life. Like,
I hate this.
Like everything is here.
Those
Why
are
is
the
it not
worst.
clicking? Like that's honestly what it feels like. Like for some reason it clicked a little bit more like 3 years ago, but now I go in and it's like, what is this?
Yeah. It's just a clown fiesta of just a mess that it doesn't know what it wants to be. It's just I hate it.
I mean, literally the only problem is like the sandbox, because I can't even complain. Like as far as I've always, played, like input lag, latency, hit registration, I can't be like, oh, the friggin' Blizzard servers, they suck. Like, no, they're pretty solid. They've always been solid. Like, I like the comp rating system when I played. Like, that's a lot of the characters do have interesting kits and stuff. Like, that's what, but like for some reason you just go in and it's just,
and it sucks.
I think the big problem like that is like it's just slowly been refined gameplay wise more and more and more into just death ball like group as 5, less skill intensive, because like that's the problem is like a lot of the big old DPS players used to love to watch, like McCree's, Widows, Genjis, Hanzos, all this stuff, like irrelevant now. They can't just get jumped on, auto aim.
Well, and like the other DPSs are very low, like Reaper, where you just hold left click and just like stand in front of things, or
and then Q. So I don't know. Maybe that's part of it. Again, we talked about maybe just change.
They
but
wrap
like,
it up with this.
come
All
out
of
with
these
this?
factors combine to make Overwatch a singular special shooter, and one that I would recommend to anyone without hesitation. Would you recommend Overwatch?
Oh god.
If they've never
Honestly,
played,
if they've
maybe?
never played it, I would say probably, and they probably get some fun out of it.
Yeah, and then just stay in low elo.
Just like have that game
maybe-
be the if you're learning PC gaming, like have that maybe be the game you learn it on.
Maybe. Yeah,
That's really not a bad game to introduction to PC.
That's what I learned on.
Yeah.
and there's always there's interesting characters people can gravitate to and like. So I mean, like I would, but like at the same time. But then it's like, all right, would you like?
What would your guys' video? What would you guys give Overwatch today if you guys were the IGN reviewer and you did a review?
Dude, man, if
I mean, that'd be a little rough.
if it was 4 years ago, I would have given Overwatch like a 9.5 to a 10.
Yeah,
100%.
Original score's at 9.6.
100%. If it came out,
I'd agree with that.
The very when it launched, I would have probably given it a 10. Just because it was, I mean, like just an evolution of hero shooters, and then, man, like now I would probably give the game like a 6.5, 7.
Yeah. Like I think at launch I wouldn't have given it a perfect until because I think it took them like 2 weeks or something to put out comp.
Yeah.
Because like after a week and a half, it felt like okay, like quick play's fun, but like I need there needs to be something else. And when comp came out, then it was perfect. You have this for like casual, you have this for competitive. I think that was where it was at its peak. But then like now, I mean, that's the hard part is like fundamentally you look at the game, you look at everything it's got going for it, you're like it's good.
Own esport league.
Like this, but for some reason you can't even pay me to play like a game because I just don't have fun.
Yeah.
And I don't know what that factor is, whatever's going on there. But yeah, for that fact alone, I'd give it like a 5 or 6, which I don't think is fair. Like, that's why I said, like, don't get me to review it. But like, for me, like, I'd put it down there because
biased
it's like
guy doing it, dude. Like, what difference is it if you're doing it? Like,
at no point am I ever like, you know what? I'm gonna hop on some Overwatch. Yeah. I haven't felt that in 2.5, 3 years. Like, I don't even know.
Hey, you know what?
Yeah.
You know what?
Let's fire it up.
Overwatch time.
Yeah. Let's play some Hanzo, right? And then you hop in and you just get jumped on by Winston's left and right. You go, all right, I'm out.
What about you, Blue? What's your score for Overwatch?
He said like
4 years
6.5,
later.
7.
6.5.
6.5? Yeah, I'd be like 6, 6.5. Just like I'd be shitting all over the game.
I'm bitter. So don't listen to me. I'm like a bitter old
Well,
man.
So-
you know what you should listen to?
This ad
This ad read.
Yeah, see?
If you're still using one of the big wireless providers this year, have you asked yourself what you've been paying for? Between expensive retail stores, inflated prices, hidden fees, you're being taken advantage of because they know you'll pay for it. Enter Mint Mobile. Mint Mobile provides the best same premium network coverage you're used to, but at a fraction of the cost because everything is online. Mint Mobile saves on retail locations and overhead, then passes those savings directly on to you. Mint Mobile was able to help me what I was looking for. They can offer you $15 for 3 gigabytes, $20 for 8 gigabytes, or $25 for 12 gigabytes. Mint Mobile makes it easy to cut your wireless bill down to just $15 a month. Every plan comes with unlimited nationwide talk and text. With Mint Mobile, stop paying for unlimited data you'll never use. Choose between plans with 3, 8, or 12 gigabytes for 4G LTE data. To get your new wireless plan for just $15 a month and get your plan shipped to your door for free, go to mintmobile.com/GG. That's mintmobile.com/GG. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/GG.
Welcome back to GG Over Easy, where we give the most honest reviews about the most honest things at the most perfect. That's not even the right time. You know?
Okay.
4 years later, dude, you know what the world needs?
Uh-oh.
An
Oh.
Overwatch review. So I took
Oh.
it
This
upon
is what we
myself.
It's
Spoilers,
such a weird pick for that day.
I wrote that article.
Oh, Mr. Fruit.
Did you? Who did
I mean,
that?
He's like,
it had
come
to
back
be
to
a s-
Overwatch, guys. Trust me. My
I
YouTube
swear-
content. I'll do customs again. Come back, guys.
Somebody had to have written it like a year ago, and they're just saving it like, all right, it's a real slow day. All right,
I
just
would
throw
not
it
be
up.
Surprised.
Yeah, they like change it from like 3-year review to like 4 year. They just put everything at 4. Like, all right, put it up. But that leads us to, and Blue is going to lead us into video game reviews in general.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously, we don't agree with that video game review in any way, shape, or form. And over the years, especially over the past 5 years or so, it kind of seems like video game reviews have become less and less relevant toward the consumer perspective. So
Yeah.
I'm wondering if you guys, or pretty much any of us, actually still take video game reviews seriously. Because I remember back in the day,
Oh, yeah.
I would look at review scores and I'd be like, "Oh, this game! Oh,
That's
dude,
what you
a
base your game off
95
of.
Yeah, 95 out of 100. This game is
GameSpot
gonna
or
be
something like that?
legendary, bro." Yeah, when GameSpot gives it out of 10, it's like, bro, GameSpot gave it a 10, bro.
Yeah. I
But
remember always
now-
going to IGN.
Nintendo Power,
Yeah.
dude, 9.5. Like, let's get it.
Yeah, Nintendo Power reviewing the newest Mario game. Yeah, it's a 9.5.
Yeah, no bias there.
It's definitely 9.5. But I mean, how much do video game reviews matter to you guys now? Because
In terms of like a big like media market, like an IGN or like a GameSpot, most of those places are like paid. Like, hey, if you like, I'm not sure if it's like public, but like if it's like a under the table, hey, like give us a good review, like we'll hook it up a little bit, or like
give us a good
clearly
review,
like
kid.
clearly like that guy who loves Overwatch 2 is clearly like can't take his bias out of that opinion at all. So you also have to like take into account who the reviewer is, and most of the time the reviewer is just some random. Like I'm looking up at what this guy's reviewed in the past, this guy, and the only other games he's ever reviewed are other FIFA games. Like I'm not going to take advice from a guy who's only ever reviewed a FIFA game, which is the same fucking game for the past 20 years, and gives it a 9.2 every single year.
The innovation this year is insane.
Yeah.
I pulled
so
Ronaldo.
if anything, I get my like game reviews from like you guys or the Angry Joe show or something like that. I'll watch him or I'll come to you guys. And if there's something like a game that you genuinely like, I know you guys are gamers, so I normally just go to my gamer friends if I have like any kind of review.
Oh my god, I'm a
Yeah,
gamer.
you guys are gamers.
I would say I gave up carrying not only on those reviews, but reviews, entertainment reviews in general, like couple years ago.
Oh, even like movie reviews? You don't like
I don't
Rotten Tomatoes?
No,
Like you don't really? That's the
'Cause
only one I kind of hold my metrics to is
because
Rotten
here's
Tomatoes.
the thing: as far as reviews go now, first off, I think we've talked about this. Rating scales are garbage, and they don't give any good indication because you could get like the worst video game ever, and they'll be like 6 out of 10. Like,
On a
what-
scale of fingernail to pigtail,
No, it's
what do
like-
you give this score?
Like you'll never
like
find something below
squirrel.
like 6 out of 10. Like it muddies the score. Like, okay, that's an 8, and that's a 9, and it's 8.2, 7.5. They all hover around the same. It's like, what? Okay, give me a breakdown. What exactly is like factoring in the score? I still believe reviews should literally, like for video games, let's say it's literally like, don't purchase, like borrow your friend's account, get it yourself, must buy. Like something like that, where it's literally just like essentially skip it. Maybe a one-time play or like this is the game. At least that gives some little more of a metric, but I think the rating system in general is garbage. It doesn't give me anything. And the only time I pay attention to reviews is when it's a big game and it's flopping, because then that's usually more indicative. Because like,
That's when you're just like,
well, and then that's usually like, okay, like that. Okay, this is probably a sign of something. Let me look into it. But otherwise, every review, 8 out of 10, 8.5 out of 10. Every game now, it's 8, 8.5, 9. It's like, okay, I don't really know the difference anymore. So for me, it's usually like, is this interest me, and do I have fun with it? It doesn't have to be a perfect game, but do I have fun with it? And so that's the same way for me with movies. I'll find that some not critically acclaimed movies, or like even some movies that are like rated rotten or whatever, I still go, huh, yeah, that was entertaining. I probably won't watch it again. I don't watch like anything again, but like, yeah, like I don't regret watching that once. And then I go like, I wonder what it got, like 12%. Like, oh, okay.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, like that's the same with like some video games. It's like, it's just, the reviews are so skewed. The scales don't make any sense. And like Rob was saying, maybe it's a conspiracy tinfoil thing, but it seems like majority of the time there is something going
there's an underlining something always
with a
there
lot of
has
these
to be.
reviews. Yeah.
I mean, they're a big media conglomerate that gets a lot of readers and clicks, man. Of course they want like, because like to the normies, you see IGN, like because we're woke, guys. We're woke
Yeah, dude,
gamers here.
we're
so
different.
Woke gamers, bro.
Yeah, we're woke. All right, so we don't look at IGN.
Those
but
are
let's
fake
be-
gamers.
He's got his Oculus headset
Like,
on.
let's
It's
be
just
real. Like,
Perfect.
I'm
We're
woke as shit. Yeah, we woke over here. But like
I can't even see
Not-
you. I'm woke.
the rest of the gaming community, like, is not woke.
Sleep.
So they
They're
like
sleep.
IGN and stuff.
They're asleep.
Yeah, they sleep and read IGN. We're out of the matrix. We took the red pill. We don't read that shit.
Fucking dude. Oh my god. Bro,
Do you
keep
read-
that
do you
on
like
every podcast, dude. Keep it on every podcast.
Maybe if I just have pink eye forever.
I
Blue, do you like take any reviews seriously though?
used to for sure, but as time has went on, it's kind of become like most of the games I'm into now aren't even like reviewed well from reviewers in general. Like what PUBG didn't even get reviewed until like way late in the game. Like
Did it?
Fortnite didn't even actually get reviewed because everything's like early access now.
Most of the time, too, what I look for is like, give me the TLDR, like bullet points, like con,
Yeah.
like pro, con, like a general overview too, so I can get a feeling for their rating. But then aside from that, it's like, all right, I'll play it for myself or ask somebody I know.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I just thought came in my head.
I mean, that's pretty much it. I mean, it's kind of just gotten to the point where I don't even get my information from like gaming websites anymore. It's all through like Twitter, through like Reddit.
Yeah.
People play the game. Like you could literally watch people. Like if you're interested in the game and you're not sure it's good or not, you could literally
Go on
watch
Twitch.
anybody on YouTube or Twitch nowadays to get like a direct feed of like what you're looking for. Whereas on gaming review sites, it's always like bits and snippets and
Yeah.
oh yeah, well this was pretty cool. As opposed to like I could literally just watch this dude do exactly what I'm looking for to see if I want this game or not.
Yeah, I do that too. Even me, I look up other creators. Like, have they made some on this? What is it like?
Yeah.
Okay. So I just looked it up. I looked up the only 10 out of 10s IGN has ever given. Okay. So I guess throw Overwatch on this list now. These are all the 10 out of 10s modern games that IGN has ever given a 10 out of 10 to.
What is modern? Like 10, 20 years? Like
I don't know.
Current gen?
It just says modern, whatever that means. Persona 5 Royal, never played it. Half-Life Alex, they gave that a 10 out of 10.
Weebs Nom.
Red Dead Redemption 2, that got a 10 out of 10. God of War, the newest and most recent.
Boy.
That got a 10 out of 10. Celeste received a 10 out of 10. Super Mario Odyssey got a 10 out of 10. Undertale, still need to play that game.
I haven't played that.
The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild got a 10 out of 10. A game called Inside. I don't know what that is. It looks kind of spooky. The Witness. That's that puzzle game that I still need to beat. That got a 10 out of 10. Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain. I know Blue played that a lot.
That game was tight.
GTA 5 got a 10 out of 10. The Last of Us, which I read the leaks, and let me tell you, wow. The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. I never played Skyward Sword. I thought the greatest one. I thought the Wiimote was whack. I was like, that's stupid. I don't want to do that.
I gotta respect that.
Uncharted 3, Drake's Deception. I've never played an Uncharted game.
I played the multiplayer. That's about it. Because I missed the first two because I had 360. So never.
Yeah. Pac-Man Championship Edition. Red Dead Redemption Undead Nightmare. That was like the zombie DLC.
The DLC, yeah.
That it had. My little brother played that a lot. Super Mario Galaxy 2. I think the Super Mario Galaxies are whack. GTA 4. I never really played GTA. I don't know if you guys did. That one at least.
In my Christian household? Nice, man.
Probably another BlueWestlo game here. Metal Gear Solid 4, Guns.
Tight as fuck.
Really?
One of the best games of all time. This is not disputable.
Really? That's easy.
I will not accept
IGN got it right.
Easiest 10 ever.
IGN got it right. Pokemon Red and Blue.
I mean, obviously, yeah. Like what
and then who would disagree? The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time is the last one. I got a 10 out of 10. And now Overwatch 4 years later. 10 out of 10.
Okay, I pulled the list up. Let me break down roughly. At least the games I can like speak to. I'm not going to be like, oh, I didn't play that game. That game sucks. I can't do that, right? Half-Life Alyx, though, I will say, from what I've seen and stuff, as far as like a VR game, at least from a viewer perspective, that looks
like very like pushing the VR back.
Yeah, that looks like, at least for what we currently have, like that. If you're gonna play VR, like that right now is the game. So I would say, again, I haven't played it, but just from a viewer point, like especially if we're being like, well, for a VR game, I definitely think that would make sense.
I can't do it. It makes me sick.
Well, same. Red Dead Redemption 2, we have to note that this is not taking in the multiplayer. Like, this is the story. And off that, I would say yes, I agree.
I never got around to beating it.
Story's fantastic. I mean, like, everything it did, the immersion, characters, storytelling, open world. I mean, I'm all for it.
The game itself is just super impressive, too. Just like NPC, like when you get dirty, like your clothes eventually get dirty. Like, that shit's cool.
I mean, it was very close to like, I mean, it's arguably like the best cowboy simulator we have, right? God of War, I mean, that might be my game of all time. So I would say 100% yes.
Game of the decade?
Like, best game ever for me.
Wow.
I was super impressed with that game. So that's up there. Celeste.
I watched Lyric try and fight that boss for like.
Oh, the Valkyrie Queen?
Yeah.
How
long did that take you?
Took me about an hour 15.
Oh, dang. It took Lyric like 25 hours, I think.
Well, so he was doing it on like Valkyrie difficulty or whatever, like literally like the hardest. I was doing it on.
Give me God of War.
Yeah, I was like, I think regular difficulty, but I remember when I fought it, my gear level was like 3 levels below, which was like bare minimum to fight. So if I had had the right gear, oh, it would have been
You would've
over.
stomped.
Yeah, way over. But personally, I love fights like that because I was actually thinking about this in like the shower the other day. Maybe it was today. I don't remember. I think it's my OCD because I love pattern recognition like that. Like I like things to make sense, and I like fighting bosses like that
I like things to make
because
sense.
because then I can identify and I know, okay, I see this. This is what's going to happen, and then I like to learn the entire fight, and then I know every like quote unquote pattern. I don't know, because I was thinking back to it, like I loved the Valkyrie fight. It was like frustrating, but there's that thing about that, and like those games, like the Souls games and stuff. It's like identifying patterns and then nailing it, like Sekiro and all that kind of stuff. So I love that final boss fight. Celeste. I've only heard one good things about the story, and it apparently does a really good job
I thought you
touching
made
on.
a video on it.
I haven't beat it, but I made a video on it. But it does a really good job apparently touching on like some social aspects, especially like depression and whatnot. And then the platforming itself, super impressed with.
Mm-hmm.
And some people say it's like the snappiest, best feeling platformer out there. And even the bits I played, I was like, this. I
Like
literally
it's
wanted
like
to
satisfying when you hit the pop, pop, like
everything. Like literally, when I was done, I wanted to play more just because the gameplay felt that satisfying. It's strange, but they did a super good job of that, so I'd agree with that. Super Mario Odyssey, I can't say I played it.
Yeah,
I know most people are like,
right,
Yeah, I mean, pretty much every Super Mario game is tight, just because Nintendo
puts a lot of effort into them.
I watched Donkey's
Nintendo is
review,
tight.
and I was like,
Nintendo
I agree.
is tight.
Based off
forgot
watching
it, but I
Donkey's
agree.
video, yeah, I'm down. Perfect game.
I agree.
There, like, okay, see, like, there is a good example of a quote unquote review I like when Donkey does a
Somebody
review.
you trust.
It's somebody I trust, but also on top of that, he doesn't have like any underlying motives. Like, for instance, like we're sitting here like, are they paid? Just the fact alone that like it raises those questions already kind of.
Yeah, he's literally like true neutral.
You know for a fact.
Yeah.
Like if Donkey's saying something, is either because he hates it or loves it, and there's no reason behind it. So when he makes a video like that, not only that, but like he goes into why, he goes into the intricate parts.
Plays on like a trope that like
and the gameplay specifics, and he'll relate it to other things if he can, or if it does something well, what exactly does it do well, and why does it do well compared to what it doesn't do well, or like when he does review, it's very in depth and it doesn't mince words, and it's like I understand. Like I watched that, I was like, I've played Super Mario Odyssey. I watched Donkey's video. Undertale again, have not. I know it took the world by storm.
I played a little bit of it. The little thing where you move the heart is pretty fun. It reminds me a lot of Cuphead.
I know it's. I mean,
how's Cuphead not a 10?
Oh, dude, I love Cuphead.
That's cheese.
That's one of my favorite games.
Yeah, me too.
So Undertale again, can't speak much to it, but I know, especially as far as like indie games, I feel like that one and like Stardew, and I guess you could go back further to like Braid and Fez and stuff, but I feel like those are some of those ones that like when people think think indie games, it's like those are the indie games, like the ones that really took off. Especially Undertale is more recent. It says here August 15th, 2017. So like the indie craze, I would say it was more like 2011, 2012, and that's when everyone's like, wait a minute, you can like actually survive making a video game by yourself or with a couple people. But I think what they did was really cool. Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, I will say I have played. Didn't finish, but it lost me. So for me, I wouldn't give it a perfect. I still think it was a great game. I'd give it like a 9, but a perfect, I don't know. I think you both have played it, so feel free to disagree with me.
Oh, I didn't beat it. I like Ocarina of Time better. I can't give for me, I can't give more Zelda games in the series a 10. Like there can only be one 10 in a Zelda series, and that's Ocarina of Time.
Blue, what do you stand on Breath of the Wild?
I think Breath of the Wild is the best Zelda game of all time,
Oh.
while also being one of the best video games of all time.
But I will give this.
Go
Zelda
on,
Breath
then.
of the Wild is the most drastically different from any other Zelda
That's
game.
true.
It's so different from every
I'll give him
other
that.
Zelda
It's
game.
very
And that-
different, and that's why I liked it so much.
Yeah, and
because
that's probably why I don't like it as much. So
I
that's-
don't know if I'm ever going to get to like. There's been so many open world games, right? And with Breath of the Wild, it was like, it's like the first time man, how do I describe it? It's like the first time you watched like a crazy computer generated flick, right? Like when you really saw something that was uncanny and you're like, wow, like, oh, dude, this is crazy. Like how people felt when they saw like that Avatar movie the first time.
or Jurassic Park. Yeah.
Or Jurassic Park. Yeah, that's another good example. And there's plenty of movies that are back in the day. There's plenty of movies that already did that stuff, but when they did it, it was like, whoa, like this is nuts. And that's how I feel about Breath of the Wild, where there's so many open world games, but when Breath of the Wild did it, it was like, holy shit. Like I'm never gonna experience a game like this. I might not ever experience a game like I just did ever again.
What map is bigger, GTA 5 or Breath of the Wild?
Well, I also don't think that's quite fair. I don't know the size, but I don't think it's quite fair because
it's really
GTA
not
is
about-
denser.
Yeah, I don't know which one's bigger, and that really doesn't matter because
They do
the
different
density,
things too.
yeah, they both do completely different things. Like in Breath of the Wild, I can appreciate scenery, but at the same time, like when I go over a hill, I'm like, man, like legit, I was like, man, I wonder what's gonna be over that fucking hill. Like, what's gonna be there for me to explore? And like literally on lunch, back when I was at my old job, literally I brought my Switch in. And I had one of those stupid like commercial moments where it was like, "What did you do over your lunch break?" And they were like, "Oh, I ate some sushi." And then I'm like over here like,
I fought a hobgoblin.
yeah, well, I went to a secret shrine at the top of a hidden mountain and slayed a dragon to free it from its mortal coil. What did you do?
Like I
Like
just
that's Breath of the Wild for me.
I just had a leftover tuna sandwich. Like,
Yeah.
throwing out
what I
that. Well, I would say too, I think the problem was like from when I did play it, I did enjoy it. But I think for me, I was also fatigued just on open world games. Because that was around the time, and I mean, I feel like it's starting to make a bit of a resurgence too, but there's just so many open world games. And for me, I needed something more linear at the time. So again, like I don't really have anything bad to say about the game. So when I played, I had fun. It was just I would just give it a 9 just because like I didn't finish it. But again, I think like I said, I don't really have anything to knock it on.
Yeah.
And like you said, like your opinion on that game isn't the first one I've heard of that. Like people who play that game, like almost everyone's like, I loved it. And even for a lot of people who didn't hardcore game like that too, with like a Switch, tried Breath of the Wild and they're like, yeah, I have like 200 hours in it. That's more than my Candy Crush. Like, so I do think it did something really cool. And I do appreciate too, like you said, like that's pretty drastic compared to like what we would have expected from a Legend of Zelda.
Yeah.
So I can understand why it made the list. I guess just on my personal list, it wouldn't make it just because I should go back and give it another chance, or maybe I will with the second one. But it seems like aside from nostalgia, on like Ocarina of Time, most people seem to think that this is now the best Legend of Zelda. I know you hate to hear it, Rob, but
yeah, but they're wrong. So,
but then there was Inside, which I haven't played, but I know it's the like a spiritual successor to Limbo, which is another one of those indie games I'd put on that list of like kind of spearheaded the, like the indie game movement, the indie game boom. Never played it, but again, like Limbo, it appeared to be amazing. So, The Witness.
Oh, that's that puzzle game, dude. It's actually pretty sick. I actually really like it. I've gone back to it every now and then. It's pretty fun. I like puzzles.
My only experience with The Witness was launch day. There'd been all this weird talk about this weird, bizarre game. I was like, let me check it out. Lyric streaming it. I check it out. And I've never felt more like Twitch chat that day. Sitting here watching him try to do a puzzle that is like, to me, I was like
this is quite elementary.
Well, it was literally like, this is the tutorial, dude. Like, it's literally like Oh my god, I was literally about to like type in chat like I'm that guy right now, and I just got so infuriated that was my experience with The
I'm
Witness.
finna backseat this guy.
That was all my experience. I was just so upset, and then I was also like, wow, I'm too invested in this. Like I need to stop watching because I was like, I'm that guy in chat right now.
You were on the cusp.
There's only 2 times that's happened. That one, and then one time I was watching Summit on Sea of Thieves, and he had a treasure map. Sweet Jesus. He could not find the X. And literally chat too. I wasn't typing, but chat was with me, and they're like, dude, left. And he's like ignoring it. He's like, I can find it, guys. It took him like 2 hours. And it's a Sea of Thieves chest. Like, it's not rocket science. It's like an island, and it's only so big. Oof. I got heated that time. But yeah, as far as the actual game, The Witness, I don't know. That's my experience. I don't think you've played it. Have you, Blue?
Witness, no, I have not. I would not stop hearing about that game though, and I was always interested, but I just never played it.
I should though, because I do like puzzle games. I just like that's a game though. Like I wouldn't probably do a video or stream on. Because for that same reason, there's always somebody that's like, well, I would have figured that out earlier. Like, I saw the solution immediately.
But of course, it's so simple.
I've played through the game 3 times, and I can't believe you don't already know how to do everything. And it's like, Jesus. Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain. We got Blue over here, who's a stan. I only ever used it to like make a little funny montage video, so I don't really have much. I just knew it was fun to like parachute people up. Did enjoy that. And then of course all the tweets about Quiet. She's like that girl in the story that has like the weird eyeshadow, and she's only wearing like a bra or something. She has like the torn leggings. It like,
oh yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. You'll know when you leave. Yeah, it took Twitter.
You can hear it in my reflection.
Grand Theft Auto 5 doesn't surprise me.
Loved it. I had a lot of fun with it. I thought it was sick when it first came out.
I mean, same thing as like.
This week too.
Oh yeah. As far as Red Dead Redemption, like what they tried to accomplish, the scale and what they did. Not only that, but the multiplayer, like, and the story too. Like everything about that game, like. They really delivered on. Can't really argue that one. The Last of Us, I haven't played it, but again, I've only heard great stuff. Legend of Zelda. No, I haven't. I need to before the second one.
I don't want. Maybe you just play the first
one. Skyward Sword. I'll be honest, I don't even remember the name. That name.
It's the one where the Wiimote was the first thing, I think, right?
Yeah.
Or was that Twilight Princess?
Twilight Princess was right before I sold my Wii, so I never had Skyward Sword or anything. Because that's when I sold it to get Halo 3.
Smart man.
Uncharted 3. Oh,
I
can't say much about that one. I did hear good things, but yeah, that came out in 2011. So the first 3 Uncharted, I couldn't even play because I had Xbox. What are these other ones? Pokemon Red and Blue. Let's go. I would say that
more Pokemon games haven't gotten a 10 out of 10 though.
I'm not.
Like Heart Gold needs a 10 out of 10.
That one's up there, but I still think
How
they
does
could
Heart Gold not get a 10 out of 10?
Because I think the reason Pokemon Red you put Red and Blue up there is because it's the first, pretty much, one game of its kind. Like Pokemon, like there's a reason, you'll say like, oh, this is a Pokemon-like game, right? Like Pokemon pretty much made that genre of monster catching and blah blah, or at the very least, Omega popularized it.
Yeah,
they made their formula, and on top of that, because it's the first one, like it's not like, well, they could have added this quality. Like this was the start, like the framework. And because of what they did, and at the time, everything, like, they were pushing boundaries. Like, it was pretty groundbreaking. And I mean, it's the reason why Pokemon is what it is today. If it wasn't for Red and Blue. Now, as for, like, more recent games, it's because, like, this is Pokemon Red and Blue, but 12 years later, and they just added a keychain Pokemon. Point
It's all
being,
funny.
they just don't. They're not changing the formula. They're not like pushing boundaries like Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild. Like that's pushing boundaries. Like you're like, wow, I did not expect that. There hasn't been a Pokemon game where I'm like, wow, I did not expect that.
Yeah.
I saw a funny tweet and it was like Corona. It was like Corona's not gonna last that long, and it was like Diamond. It was like Pokemon Diamond and Pearl underneath it. It was like Corona.
Yeah. I think that's the reason you would have the originals up there. But then, yeah, kind of same story with the recent ones, and we've touched on Blue and I plenty with the whole Pokemon bit, but it's just they just play it too safe. They have a formula, they know it works.
They really do.
And then Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time.
Yeah.
Which Rob, I know you disagree with. That shouldn't be up there.
Yeah,
like
that should be an 11.
that should
be an 11.
A whole new rating system.
To gaming. That game taught me how to do puzzles.
Point is, I will say
that game did for me more than elementary school.
I agree with most of those. Or like literally the ones that I've played at least, I can be like, yeah, I understand that. So for the most part, I agree with them. Maybe that's a good.
But now we throw Overwatch in there now, right?
Yeah, but to see then it's like I don't agree with that one.
I mean,
that's a tough sell. Long story short, though, those a lot of at least overview of perfect scores. I agree with most of those.
Mm-hmm.
But again, also those are ones that are easier. Like it's a lot easier though to look at a game that great and just be like, wowzers. But then you get like when Ubisoft was like cranking out Assassin's Creed every year. It's like 9. I don't actually know what the ratings were, but like it wasn't even like, oh, they could have like this is great, or they'd be like, you know what, a little same, not much changed. Graphically wasn't great, had some stuttering performance issues, glitches, story didn't really sell me. Honestly, it didn't really add upon anything in the Assassin's Creed. 8.7. Like, I feel like that's a review so often too. It's like I don't get it. So
I don't understand anything.
But hopefully, you know what we will understand.
What?
This ad read.
How? Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. The GG over easy. We have so far stayed on brand for a lot of video game talk. I don't know if that's a good thing or bad.
Pretty good.
Got into 3 topics. Very good for us.
So I feel like most of the listeners are
Doesn't happen often.
and they're like, they're actually staying on topic, dude.
This is weird.
Oh wait, speaking of which, hey, while I work us into the next topic, somebody want to get us a review?
Oh, I could pull one up. Let me see. Apple Podcasts.
Before we do that,
I'll
sauce you up like Zack Snyder's trying to sauce up the Zack Snyder cut for Justice League.
I'm actually so interested in that. Oh my god.
I don't know.
Big same.
How could it be that much better? Like what?
So I'm only interested because it's either going to turn out S tier or it's going to be like the biggest.
Still just a giant meme.
Because guess what? Mark Zuckerberg is still fucking what's his face in the movie. Like that doesn't change.
I mean, that's
like,
still one of the worst castings of all
Luthor.
time. Yeah, of course. Maybe in the Zack Snyder cut, Lex Luthor's just not in it.
Well, what about
cool.
Doomsday? Like, hello.
Well, I think there's a lot of problems with that, and we'll have to see how he cuts it. I have no idea, but I do remember, like, even at release, there was all this talk, like Zack Snyder had a cut, but Warner Brothers or DC or whatever was like no, and then they did it, and Zack Snyder didn't agree or whatever, and blah blah blah, and then it hits the movie theaters, and then it like bombs. So we've been waiting for this for a while, and I'm with Blue. I'm interested because it's either going to be like, wow, DC messed up, like they wouldn't be a joke right now if they actually did this, or it's like, Lamau, Zack Snyder, you're like, nice one, like nice meme.
Like yeesh, like
yeah,
it's either gonna be incredible and like redeems it, or it's just
gonna have to buy HBO Go Max or whatever it is. So
I mean, that's probably the play, right? I mean, he's got a tall order ahead of him because it's going to be way easier for it to go poorly than it is to go well and wow people. So we'll see.
Hold on. If you guess me what Rotten Tomato gave Justice League, and I'll say the fans. The fans. What did the fans give Justice League?
53.
Blue.
40.
The fans gave it a 71.
Way to go, fans.
Actually, not bad.
Hey, man,
I'm
if
pretty
you enjoy
surprised.
it, yeah, if
They
you
were a lot
enjoy it,
nicer than I'd be.
I
you
actually
enjoy it, do your thing.
didn't hate it, but I also didn't like it. I
was
I will
very
say
bored and
again,
I hated the filter.
I liked
don't understand
Batfleck.
why it was like
I mean,
bad.
I like
I
Batfleck.
thought Batfleck was pretty good, man. I know
I
people
thought he was
hated
very
it,
okay.
but
I know
I thought
people memed
Batfleck
him,
was
but-
pretty all right.
I'm really upset they didn't go further with him.
Do you think their end of the resolution and the conflict is because they have the same mother's name in Zack Snyder's version?
I hope not. But I feel like
he's
that's gonna be pretty hard to work out though. Like that's
I just feel
'Cause-
like Zack Snyder's watching that happening. He's like, this is exactly like how I
well,
imagined.
because unless they have an alternate like footage of that pinnacle moment, there's no other way for you to realize, oh, they're on the same team. So we'll see.
No. Okay, but I have a review right here. At least I did. I lost it. Okay, no, we have it. All right. From Outlet 4, titled
Outlet.
420 Stars. I've been watching Mr. Fruit and the Dream Team for a long time. In fact, you could say that they've even helped me a lot in my tween years with their Destiny videos. Now that I'm in high school, I watch Mr. Fruit and still play Destiny 2, regrettably. This podcast is great to listen to while I sit back and relax, yet also keeps you engaged with insightful conversations and amazing chemistry. It truly feels like a group of longtime friends, and I'm really happy I've gotten to watch them for so long. Love you, Rob, Blue, and Fruit. Thanks,
Aw,
Outlet.
thanks,
That was
dude.
very nice and wholesome,
was
and I
mad
really just
wholesome.
picked a random one, and you
Should we-
killed it.
Should we be worried that he admits he has poor judgment with Destiny 2? So does that mean he has poor judgment in content? Can we
No,
extrapolate
I mean,
that?
no. Shut up.
I was expecting him to be like, you helped me in my tweens, but then I grew up and realized, wait a minute,
Wow, you kind of suck.
you guys suck.
You guys actually
Wait,
kind of
I
suck.
watched
Dude.
watched you.
There was this stupid Reddit post. Oh my god, here we go. Let me
What?
find it. On the
You
Mr.
stop
Fruit
reading
subreddit.
those. I don't know why you do this to yourself.
It's on
I
Mr.
go
Fruit
to the
subreddit.
Reddit. The Reddit
Yeah.
has
I'm like,
mostly
why-
banger posts.
It's really
Sometimes
called-
you get some posts in there that are
And it's
whack,
called
but-
What Happened.
Oh.
And essentially,
Oh,
like,
no.
I've been
Oh,
subscribed to
no.
Miss Fruit since the summer of the end of Taken King. Been a huge fan. Blah, 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 blah. I haven't watched a video of his and actually enjoyed it in almost 6 months. I'm definitely not saying that his videos have become bad,
Have you not watched the Jackbox videos, man?
just that they've changed, but I can't really put my finger on how they've changed. Does anyone else
If you-
feel similar? And then, like,
No,
There's some
man, that's
people
just
like
called you're changing and you're just becoming somebody different, and you can watch other content without making people feel shitty about it. That's just what it is. There's
Right.
nothing about us that's changed. It's something about you that is changing, and there's still nothing wrong with that.
worst part too is like I'm putting more effort in editing here.
Yeah.
And it's 6 months
Dude.
ago. It's like sucks. And it's like, well,
You suck, bro.
I mean, someone does have a good point. Like, part of it might be the fact that like games pretty dry right now. Like we don't have the channel and us. We don't really have a main game right now.
Mhm.
There hasn't been one. I mean, not even Destiny anymore, because that's just a meme.
Mhm.
So I think that's probably part of it. But I mean, at least for me.
Yeah.
But I still have just as when I make a video, I'm like, this is a banger, dude. And then it's
Mhm.
like,
I still
Nothing.
have fun recording.
all right, I'll send
That'll never
I'll send that 20 to your PayPal later. Thanks.
Speaking of television, I know Christian is a big stan of this series, or I guess franchise. Snowpiercer. Did you watch the premiere?
I'm gonna be honest. Until like a week ago, I didn't even know it was a thing.
Me either. I saw a trailer
Yeah.
for it. I was like, Chris Evans?
I saw an ad on like Twitter, like scrolling through, like Snowpiercer appearing on like TNT this Sunday, like TV shows. Like, wait, what? How did I not hear about this? So, yeah, there's like a new Snowpiercer show on TNT that is based on the books and the movie. And obviously, I mean, even just in the first episode, you see some of like how they've taken some creative freedoms or like some of the plot twists. If you've seen like the movie and stuff, that like a twist to what you would normally think. But I already think it's just a super interesting concept. So like, I'm gonna watch the show anyway because in this one, like the train's like 1,001 carts long or something like that.
Oh, so it's way.
Yeah,
long.
it's like omega long, and so it's just like I'm there literally, even if it's not the most interesting. I'm just gonna enjoy seeing how they like imagine this world and these cars and how they would like actually survive like this. Like that was the most interesting part to me. Is like this like
the logistics of it.
yeah, like this fake scenario. And the first episode was promising.
What was funny is like you're like I didn't know this was coming out. I was watching like it was like a Hulu show, and then like the advertisement started, and like it was like we live on this train for hundreds of years, and I was like, oh, like that's cool. And then like I was watching, it's like, oh, that kind of like sounds like Snowpiercer, and I was like, this is ripping off Snowpiercer, and I was like, why is nobody upset that this is Snowpiercer? And then it's like, watch Snowpiercer. And I was like,
say,
oh,
that's because it is Snowpiercer.
Yeah, I was like, oh, okay, very cool. No Chris Evans, but that's okay.
I know. I feel like right now he's probably a pretty expensive sell.
Also, yeah, I was gonna say also Snowpiercer is pre Captain America Chris Evans rate.
Yeah, the rate for him's a little different.
Yeah, I'm sure his rates are has changed just a little bit.
I'd actually just seen him for the first time. I saw Scott Pilgrim versus the World the other night.
Oh,
I don't know if you guys have seen that before.
I love that movie. And
okay, Blue's about to hate me.
People never stop reminding me about how I sound like Michael Cera from Scott Pilgrim.
I think it's a very overrated movie, and I think it's very.
You're an overrated movie.
There we go.
Boom, roasted.
Yep.
Mic drop.
Boom, roasted.
That movie is sick as shit, dude.
It's cool. I like the like when he jumps up and it like still has like the comic book kind of esque kind of things to it. That's cool, but I don't know. It's just.
So you're telling me you're a nerd ass and you didn't feel anything when you watched Scott Pilgrim?
Not really, and probably because when it came out, I was like cool high school guy, and so I was like,
lame.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I haven't seen it in maybe.
What kind of loser watched Scott Pilgrim? Probably like plays Animal Crossing.
When did that come
out? 2011, I think.
Oh yeah,
that movie was ahead of its time.
Because that's when I remember. I was like, all these big names. It was kind of the same thing. Like Chris Evans was there. Brie Larson. She's only 19. Obviously Michael Cera. I can't remember all the people, but like some big names. I'm like, geez. It reminds me when I watched Band of Brothers. And I'm like, oh my god, he's in this. Oh my god, he was in there for like 3 seconds, and now he's like the big like.
Yeah.
It's like it's so weird seeing people before like like they really hit off. But I really liked it. Yeah. Especially some of the humor parts. I had quite a couple of chuckles. Like at first, I wasn't super sold. I was like, I'll give it some more time. But then once the movie started to get going, and
have you ever seen the movie American Ultra? It has like the guy from
sounds super familiar.
Lex Luthor in it, and the girl from Twilight.
Oh yeah.
That movie's dope. I love that movie.
There was some parts during Scott Pilgrim where it was mainly him and like I can't remember her name, but like the different colored hair chick, like the major love interest, whatever.
Yes.
And they were in like snow, and it's like a weird dream sequence. There's a door, and it made me just want to rewatch Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. I believe that's the title.
I've never seen that.
That's
like with Jim Carrey, right?
So good, yeah.
Yeah, I've never.
If you've never seen that,
when the movie they can like you can choose to erase memories, right?
Yeah. I mean, if you haven't seen that, you are doing a disservice to yourself. It is fantastic.
Yeah. Well, maybe I'll watch that because Sydney and I we've been watching a lot of movies again, and yesterday we watched Slumdog Millionaire.
Ooh, great movie.
Yeah. Wasn't my first time, but like it was a great movie. Just a good movie.
Aside from that, I guess quickly we can talk on Crucible. Not that Crucible.
The Amazon one.
Yeah. I don't know. I didn't play it yesterday. Did you guys have fun?
Well, Blue, have you played it?
I have not played it. I don't really have an interest in playing it. I've seen so many people on Twitter be like, hey, this kind of looks like Paragon. And my response is always, thanks, buddy. This is like the 80th game people have said. It's kind of like Paragon.
I mean, it does, like, playing
No.
and like graphically,
No.
it looks like it sometimes.
Do not do
But
this.
that's about. I'm gonna tell you, like, don't bother.
I'm done. I'm out, bro.
It's not worth it.
Can't-
I'm
can't-
not
no.
telling you to
Okay.
play it. All right.
Okay.
But dude, you gotta play it.
I just want Paragon.
It's
You
like,
gotta play this.
I mean, it came out of nowhere, really. Like, I hadn't know much about it, and then they had the trailer like 3 weeks ago or something, right? Like 2 weeks ago. And you're just like, yo, this is our game. It's coming out in like 2 weeks. I'm like, oh. I was like, all right, I'll give it a shot. And we did. And it was like, all right. But it tries to be so many different things at once that it doesn't really do any one thing well. Like, well, that's it. I don't know how to explain it myself.
It's not an arena shooter.
Well, because there's like 2 different modes. One's a battle royale and one's not. The battle royale mode 100% feels like they threw it in the last second. Because the game
battle royale.
Yeah, like the game does not, because it's like the battle royale is technically like 10 team or like 9 teams of 2, like 2 teams of 9. Wait, yeah, no, 9 teams of 2. And it just nothing about it says like, yep, this is how the game is supposed to be played. Then the other mode is 4v4, and the best way I could describe it is it's like the cycle with heroes or like hero shooter characters and MOBA-esque leveling, but you don't level abilities.
Stop. I already hate it.
You don't have an ultimate though. And the objective is you fight over this hive thing that spawns every couple minutes. And when you kill it, it drops a heart. And you have to capture that heart. But you can't do it if you're taking damage. So, like, obviously, you're supposed to fight over it. First team to capture 3 hearts wins. Except what we also found out is a pretty dumb mechanic is if you destroy that hive, which isn't exact, it's not like, it's usually not easy to do. You'll take a lot of damage. Then the heart spawns. You get nothing. It's just whoever captures the heart. So for all you want, enemy team could just be like, yeah, just wait for them to kill it. Oh, they killed it. All right, cool. Let's just roll up now. And that's kind of what happened.
You don't get like a buff for like actually killing the hive.
No, like there's nothing for it. Like you have to capture that heart. And the capture itself takes like 15 seconds. So it essentially just becomes, we killed the hive. Oh, great. We're getting ganked. Oh, we're all dead. Oh, they captured the heart. Some of the character designs, some of them are good. Some of them are like, what? And so that's why I'm saying, like, I want to like it. And I did not have fun, but I don't know if I'd ever log back in. And so it's just strange because at moments it felt like Battleborn, or it could have been like Battleborn. And I'm like, Blue, he wants Paragon back. I want Battleborn back.
Please.
Why don't we just get a Battleborn Paragon, baby? Somebody make that, please. But no. So that was my... At first, people were like, yo, you got to play this, dude. It's like Battleborn. I was like, yes. And I got on. I was like, no. I don't know. That's one of the few... Because, like, as far as, like, game releases in the next couple months, we know about most of them. So, like, when there's a surprise announcement like that, it was like a hero shooter. I'm like, yes. Yeah, I'm like, okay, surprise me. And I'm not surprised. So, still waiting for, that announcement to come out of left field and just be like, sick. But it's not there yet. And I'm sad. So, really, all it did was make me sad. It's free to play, though. So, hey. At least you don't have to pay money.
I mean, that's tight. Like,
yeah, hey, we'll take it, right? And that's pretty much that. Do we have some Patreon questions, Rob?
Yeah, I have some pulled up right here. Let's see. We have a question from Cosmic. If you had to live with anyone in the extended dream team, who would it be and why? So extended dream team, that means that would exclude you two, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I assume it would have to be like we have to choose outside of us.
because Blue would be my choice originally. I would just like to say that. Yeah, because I think you're very clean in the aspect of you don't clean like your room Like you don't keep that clean. But like that's your space. Like I ain't going in there. So like whatever. Like you could do that. But like in the common area, I feel like you would keep that like clean because you have that anxiety of, oh shit, I don't want these people to think I'm like a not a clean person. So I gotta be like overly clean. So now you're like overly clean in like common area spaces. But when it comes to your own space, you seem like me that it just is kind of messy.
I'm actually total opposite. I keep my
Really?
space like ridiculous, like really clean.
Oh.
I kind of slack at keeping common area spaces clean.
Oh, so we're the opposite. See, I keep my space is
That's
dirty.
probably why we would work. That's probably why we would work out. You're right. Oh shit,
Opposites
dude,
attract.
it's the slam dunk. Let's go.
But I guess we're going extended dream team. I guess Dado, because he seems the most cleansiness that I can think of. Like Sammy, Shark, and Bless are automatically thrown out because they snore. Like you're out. Like that's I'm sorry. So probably just Dado off the fact he doesn't snore.
Even if they're in different rooms and stuff.
Yeah, dude. Like, dude, Sammy, I'm not kidding you, dude. It woke me up from Claire's office. And he was at the main living room floor. That shit was echoing that. Like, you know, in a cartoon when someone's snoring really loud and it like pulls in the house and then the house like expands when you release. It was like that. Like, it was like that. And I was like, I'm gonna kill this kid.
I'd probably go Bless.
Ooh, that's a good choice.
Yeah, he seems nice. He was certainly always trying to keep things clean at the Fruit Summit. And I feel like he could serenade me or
funny guy,
cook me some stuff. Yeah, karaoke. He'd always be about that. And you know what? Yeah. If I'm ever down, I'd be like, Bless.
Always
let's watch.
Down for a good time.
I'd be like, Bless. Scary YouTube videos.
Too.
Yeah, show me some ghost stories on YouTube. He's like, I got you, dude.
Is this place haunted?
He's like, I hope you don't have anything scheduled for the next like 7 hours.
What about you, Blue?
Okay, wait. I have to think about this.
Oh, you can live with Dork.
Okay, see, if I lived with Dork, that'd be way too many memes. Like, we would probably like blow up the house. That's probably like a bad. That's probably like a bad mix.
Pulls in from the memes.
It would be a gamer house, and like all the wallpaper would just be waifus.
A memer house.
It would be it would be a straight memer house. Like you walk in, it'd be like a clown house, just like with a lot of titties. It'd be weird. That would see. I couldn't do that with Dork. Damn, man.
I couldn't do Arios because he would go somewhere and not tell me, and he'd be gone for like days, and I'd be like, "Are you dead?"
Dude, Arios is way.
He's a wild card.
Honestly, I would probably pick Arios.
Really?
Wow.
I would pick Arios because Arios is super independent and on his own, and like
that's true.
He'll just be gone, and you know what? I'm gonna be like, tight. Yeah, he's doing his thing. I'm really like to myself, especially like in my living space. So when I have a roommate, it's like my roommates never see me.
You're like a shadow. You're like
it's a myth if I even exist in your same living space or not. Honestly,
dorms were rough, dude. In college, never having just like truly your space. Oof.
I mean, but you chose to live in the dorms. Year.
Well, no, I didn't really have a choice, but that's a different topic.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I think I would pick Arios. I feel like everyone else would want to be like, oh, I'm with my friend. Let's be social all the time. And I'd be like, dude, I'm level 80 Gunbreaker and I'm trying to do my duty roulettes to master my continuation combo. I need you to get the fuck out of my room right now, bro. Please.
You're like this is totally a Misha.
I'm getting ready for Savage Raid.
He'd be like, okay, great, yeah.
Yeah. I'd probably pick Arios just because I feel like Arios just does his own thing all the time, and I'm doing my own thing all the time. And
upside to Arios and Bless.
We're just like on two parallel planes, and then like every once in a while he's gonna be like, "You wanna go Chipotle?" And I'd be like, "Fuck yeah, we'll go Chipotle." And then the parallel planes will intersect, and then we go back.
For like a second, path. Yeah, and then they go back.
That's cool.
That sounds tight.
With Arios or Bless, we could be pump buddies. So that's one thing.
This is from Brandon. When did you guys realize that you had an impact, like the impact you guys have on people's lives? Is there a moment that like you kind of realized that and realized it was bigger than video games, I guess.
Oh,
He's asking.
yeah, I definitely have one. It was
Go ahead, Blue.
our first St. Jude stream for Guardian Con was when I really realized, like, oh shit, we raised like $100,000. That's not from like
I remember
nothing.
that.
Like, that's real people
I went and got mac and cheese
donating
to
that
celebrate.
money. Hell yeah!
I was so tired. I was like, I want mac and cheese. Like, we did a good thing.
It was, and it's so, those charity streams are so stressful.
Mhm.
So like,
Bruh.
Well, we're
just
doing
after
again
it,
this year.
I was like, man, like this is kind of crazy. Like this isn't like,
Yeah.
this is real shit.
Yeah, this isn't a meme house. Like,
This is
Like,
a
I
joke.
think what you said, Blue. I think when I went to the St. Jude Hospital for like the St. Jude event, like that is probably like when I really realized like the kind of impact that we can have on somebody's life. And then Guardian Con too, because a lot of people always come up to Christian and I and tell us their stories and stuff, and it's really humbling. And I have like a lot of stuff that like people sign and like letters they sign. It's really cool.
for me, it was probably like a year and a half into making videos. But someone emailed me, or at least like doing Mr. Fruit full time. And someone just emailed me, or it was either an email or in my P.O. box. I forget which. It was some sort of a letter. Where a guy pretty much just talked about how he'd been struggling and he was like about to take his life when he randomly happened upon like one of my videos and laughed for like the first time. And like, you know, he said like a year or something, and said like that was the one thing that stopped him from taking his own life. And then ever since he's like gotten his life together. But that was like the one day it just hit me like, dang, like me being stupid somehow randomly at the right time, right place, helped some guy like keep going.
And they're like biggest moment of like need, like to have somebody there.
And especially I felt like that because I had that in high school. Like I said, like I used to watch a lot of creators back then. They were like my rocks, so that was my realization moment.
Okay. We'll move to a slightly more upbeat topic. Most wanted Smash Ultimate DLC character in the next
Jesus
fighter
Christ.
pack.
I'm
You
still
know we're
saying
gonna answer
Cuphead.
Goku.
I mean,
but it's never gonna happen.
I would say Goku, but I mean, at this point, Cuphead's
Like
more
you gotta
likely.
let's be realistic of somebody who could
Like
actually
a realistic.
Yes. I would
Right.
say Sora, but
Vegeta.
then Sora they did want him, but like
Square Enix said
was
nah.
like pay up the fucking cock for him. And they're
Like,
like,
nah, fam.
no, I'm okay. Like, okay. Gosh, like there's so many.
Yeah,
You know
I
who
mean,
I think would actually be kind of cool now that like I kind of think about it? GoldenEye James Bond. That'd be kind of cool.
wait, what?
Yeah, like GoldenEye James Bond. Like
What
it's
is he gonna
GoldenEye
do
James.
though?
He does karate chop.
GoldenEye James Bond.
Yeah, he does like, the
Like,
karate
what more
chop.
do I need to say?
He's GoldenEye James Bond, dude. I don't know what you want from me.
Or Conquer. Conquer would be really cool.
Conquer would be sick.
I would really like to see Conquer that at some point. Conquer would be really cool.
All right, then I'll say Kratos. That'd be
That
sick.
would
That would
That would
be
be
so sick.
Yeah.
That would be, but they'd have to like PG him down, which would kind of be hard to do.
But he just has like two forms where he either has his axe or his chains. Different combat styles. It'd be sick.
That's a good one though.
And
Mine's gonna
then
be a little. Oh, dude, keep going, keep going.
well, just, like his smash attack when he gets the ball could be his Spartan Rage, you know? All like do. Yeah. Anyway. Kratos.
Kratos is tight. Yeah, I am gonna have to go with an off-brand pick here. It would
I
be
like it.
Prinny from Disgaea.
Who?
Oh,
The Prinny.
the guy that's based off of his avatar, the little penguin.
Wow. I used to
Oh.
use the Prinny as my mascot before I rebranded to my full penguin deer evolution.
But Blue,
Yeah.
how would that?
It's like a mega Prinny evolution.
How
It really
would?
is.
What would his attacks and stuff be?
So he has this entirely separate game called Prinny Can It Really Be the Hero, where he has like air slashes. He's got two knives, two like mini blades that are tight. He has his hero form. He can do a whole bunch of different things. Their whole thing is that they explode. So it could be like a fun gimmick where every time like your Prinny gets defeated, like a new one pops out of nowhere, as opposed to like the same one coming down from the
Like respawn
stage. Because the lore behind Prinnies is that they're basically souls of sinners, and
Okay.
they can't do anything on their own. So like that game Prinny Can Really Be a Hero, you have like 100 lives, and it's like 100 Prinnies. Every single time one dies, it's a new Prinny you're playing. So it would be a cool concept. It would be kind of tight.
That would be pretty sick. That would.
But I
be
mean,
sick.
yeah, this guy's an RPG. Prinnies have all these different moves, so and the hero Prinny's tight as fuck.
Well, I actually have said announcer from Sakurai. He actually texted me on my phone here. He is saying the next fighter is actually another Fire Emblem character. You heard it here first.
Yes.
Another Fire Emblem character coming.
That was actually my number
way.
one pick. Let's
Yeah.
go, dude. God,
That's my realistic pick. Another Fire Emblem character.
I'm over it.
Or
At
Gengar.
least like, because I think so Fire Emblem is like the most repped, and then
I think Pokemon is the next one.
I think
That's it.
Pokemon's second, right? Honestly, I
What?
think adding more Pokemon though isn't bad because there's so much more you can do with that.
I think you
There's
could get
so many
Gengar,
characters. Yeah.
throw Gengar
Like-
in there.
Yeah,
They're
you-
probably going to pick one of the starters because that's they usually do. Well, they did
Is
Mewtwo, they did
Erde?
Lucario, and then they just did Greninja. Greninja was so popular they had to put
Yeah.
him in. So
But that's like
Blaziken?
and then they put Incineroar.
No,
they're
I
gonna,
don't
they're,
think
what
they'd
they're
add
probably their
older
current trajectory is putting in all the like one of the new starters. So
The Owl.
No.
that would have been sick, but
They
they
did Incineroar
chose not
instead.
to put him in.
yeah, I actually
Because-
at first I was pissed, but then I grew to like Incineroar.
Yeah, I'm still on the Incineroar train. I mean,
It's
Yeah,
if they do pick, realistically, they would pick another starter, and the starter would probably be Rillaboom.
that'd be pretty sick.
I do not see them picking Inteleon, mostly because God, that's a terrible design.
You think it has to be
Yeah.
a starter?
And they already picked.
What if it was
they already
Dragapult?
picked- Dude, don't even play with me. Okay, Prinny's tight, but if it was Dragapult, like how would they translate Dragapult into a character?
I know his dodge. He like goes into the ground, right? Like he goes
But
away into the ground.
he's never on the ground. He's always floating. I mean, I guess his tail could be his.
Or like he makes like a little like stealth bomber, like, and he just
Wait,
like
who is this?
dodges in and out, like fades in and
Dragapult,
out.
the stealth bomber Pokemon.
His neutral
He's the-
B is
he's the
he does his
dragon with the
little
jet plane
missiles.
on
Yeah.
Fuck, dude. Dude, if it was
Phantom
Dragapult, I would
Force
literally
is like down B.
bust my nut like live on stream. Like I would. Oh my god, dude. I would love Dragapult, but I just feel like that's not realistic because he's such a hard just form to fit into Smash.
But Rillaboom, I just can't help but feel like he'd be like scuffed DK.
Okay, yeah, I could see that. But I mean, they've already done a water starter, which is Greninja. They did the fire starter, Incineroar.
Yeah, that's true.
I feel like the most they would either pick the new legendary, which they just revealed, which that'd be okay,
Oh,
or-
the bear dude.
or it would be Rillaboom.
You don't think,
Rillaboom.
I think. What about a Gen 1 though? Maybe get like the Gen 1ers kind of.
They already have Pokemon trainer. They have Squirtle, Ivysaur, Charizard,
They pretty much
and
never
Pikachu
did.
and Jigglypuff.
Yeah, they've never like
Oh,
dipped
number one. Come
previous into like a previous. The only time they ever did that
Yeah.
was when they made Pokemon Trainer and Brawl.
We also have to think too, like with every DLC they do, it's usually somehow tied
Yeah.
to promotion. And if they're going to do Pokemon, they want to promote, their new game, Sword and Shield, or like I could see like Blue saying like DLC, like, oh, this new DLC is about to come out. Well, guess what? The new Legendary is like a new fighter too, and it's like, whoa, something like that. Whereas it's like, here's Eevee. You're like, oh, all right.
God, man, the things I would do for Dragapult in Smash, but
I'm sorry I
just
did that
don't.
to you.
it's just not realistic, man. But
It's
now I have my
not at
hopes
all.
up.
I didn't mean to do it to you. I'm
I think like
sorry.
Mickey Mouse would be like
If-
more realistic than that.
If they somehow managed to translate him to Smash, I would pee my pants. I would squirt, dude.
I'd be there for it. That'd be hilarious.
Dude, that'd be nuts.
Gotta take these off now.
I'm gonna cry, dude. I'm gonna cry just thinking about it. That would be like
I'm gonna cry just thinking about how we have to end this podcast.
I was gonna
Dang.
segue that. Oh,
I'm better.
Keep your shades
son
on,
of-
King. Never let him see you
Well,
fly.
I just signed $100 million thing for
Spotify. Congrats,
so,
dude.
yeah.
That's
Hey, Joe, we're proud of you. Hey, us at GG Over Easy are happy
hey.
for you.
Wait,
Joe.
does that give us more lands? We're taking Joe's viewers,
Hey,
dude.
Joe. Okay, sorry.
his
we got the
audience,
YouTube name. Hey,
they-
YouTube. If you're not careful, we're leaving too.
Hey, I read his comment section. They're like, Joe, I love your show, but like, where's the Destiny 2 drama? Well,
That's
we
what I'm
got
saying.
you guys. Come on over.
Yep. Spotify, sign us. Blue, where can people find you on the internet?
Hey guys, you can find me everywhere at BlueWestlo.
You can find me everywhere at RabEV.
You can find me everywhere, more or less, at Mr. Fruit. With that said, thank you very much for listening to this episode of the GG Over Easy podcast. We appreciate all you stands listening and or watching, leaving reviews, commenting, doing whatever you do, but making sure that you're still here to listen and that we can keep doing this. With that said, have yourselves a fantastic day. We'll talk to you in the next one. Farewell.